Chapter 27. Divided Paths. Borin Haldrum was the first to speak when the valley opened before them. "By my ancestors' beards," he exclaimed, halting the mule that pulled his cart. "Every time I see these walls, I'm reminded of how small we truly are." Alden lifted his gaze and understood at once what he meant. The road descended toward a stone settlement built at the foot of a wall so immense it seemed to defy the horizon itself. A vast expanse of gray stone, carved millennia ago by hands far too powerful to belong to any creature still living today. The wall traced the mountain range for miles, vanishing into the distance like an artificial horizon. But nothing was as awe-inspiring as the gates of Carvath Dum. Two colossal slabs of polished rock, each more than 20 meters high, covered in ancient runes that breathed a faint glow beneath the sun. On either side stood two stone giants, motionless, fused into the wall like sculptures. Though everyone knew they were no such thing, they were the Guardians. Doran let out a low whistle. "They're bigger than I remember, every time." "That's because you don't remember them properly," Borin replied with a proud half-smile. "No dwarf ever forgets the first time he sees the Guardians." Kel, who had never witnessed anything like this, stared open-mouthed. Do they move?" Borin laughed, deep and rumbling. "Of course they move. They're the only ones who can open the gates, and they do it only once a day. If someone arrives late..." Alden studied the wall. There was no other entrance, no crack, no hidden path. Only stone and ancient power. Doran pointed upward toward the figures carved into the rock. "Look at those. They look like giants, too." Lyanna narrowed her eyes, studying the colossi sculpted directly into the wall. Warriors, beasts, dwarven ancestors. The detail was so precise it felt as though they might tear themselves free from the stone at any moment. "They say," Borin added, lowering his voice slightly, "that if the gates were ever threatened, those figures would awaken. They're not just decorations." Cal swallowed. "And does that happen often?" Sarah answered without taking her eyes off the wall. "No, but knowing it could is enough to understand why Galathor has never entered this way." Borin nodded, his tone turning grave. "These walls are what keep Tharzul standing. Galathor has spent years trying to break them, but neither dark magic nor corruption has prevailed, and thanks to the Guardians, no army passes." Kel glanced uneasily at Dren. "And there's no... I don't know... tunnel? A hidden trail?" Dren smiled with that irritating calm of someone who knew more than he let on. "For an army, impossible. For a small group, maybe, if you don't mind freezing, getting lost, or ending up as mountain dinner. And even then, it would be suicide without someone who knows the paths." "And you know them?" Kyle asked. Dren shrugged. "I know most routes across Myranthel. That doesn't mean I want to use them." Borin struck his staff against a stone. "Enough talk. Let's move. If we arrive before midday, we might still get something decent to eat. I'm not negotiating with guards on an empty stomach." The caravan began its descent toward the settlement. Low stone houses formed narrow streets thick with smoke, forges, and dwarven merchants shouting prices and haggling loudly. The air smelled of coal, hot metal, and spices. As they moved through the streets, Alden noticed the way the dwarves watched them. Curiosity mixed with distrust and a quiet respect. Luthera stayed close to his side, tense. Ether watched from atop a rooftop, motionless as a shadow. Elsewhere in the realm, beneath a heavy sky, another caravan advanced along an abandoned trail. Scarlet banners bearing a black crow with outstretched wings left no doubt. The Order of the Crows. At the front, mounted on a dark horse, Riven never looked back. He knew exactly what he was carrying. Behind him, chained to the saddle, rode Selenia. Her gaze was fixed on the structure rising before them. The Tower of Lumara, imposing, ancient. A vertical monument emerging from the clearing, like a stone finger pointing at the sky. Though cracked, moss-covered, and worn by centuries, it retained an unbroken dignity. Beneath its decay pulsed a power not entirely asleep. Selenia spoke in a low voice, heavy with memory. "Lumara the Eternal lived here, the greatest mage of all ages. From these walls came wonders the world no longer remembers. He was keeper of the oldest secrets, and the one who sealed the primordial relics back when hope still remained? Riven did not slow his pace. "Excellent," he said, cold and flat. Then he smiled faintly. "You'll be pleased to know that this will be your new home." A knot of ice ran down Selenia's spine. The tower seemed to be watching her. Alden, Lyanna, Kale, Doran, and Sira gathered with Borin near the village well. The dwarf crossed his arms. "Very well. I suppose you'll finally explain to me who in the abyss this boy is," he said, pointing at Alden. Kale opened his mouth to offer something unhelpful, but Sira stopped him. "Alden is the bearer of the mark, the one from the prophecies." Borin froze. "By Durvak's runes." Lyanna added, "Our destination is Tharzul. There lies the axe of Durvak, the relic of the first king." Borin tightened his grip on his staff. "It will be an honor to aid the bearer, but do not expect warmth in my city. For centuries our relations with humans have been complicated, and Galathor has only poured salt into the wound." A figure approached through the crowd. "Dren." "Pardon the interruption," he said with feigned courtesy, "but I bring news." Lyanna turned at once. "What news?" Dren raised an eyebrow, surprised by her reaction. "Serious rumors. They say the Order of the Crows was at the sanctuary of the Order of Arendor, and that they took the oracle." The ground seemed to fall away beneath Lyanna's feet. "Selenia? Dren, if you know more, you tell us now." "There's no confirmation," he replied, "but several merchants swear the order continued on toward the Tower of the Ancient Mages." Lyanna needed only a second to decide. "I'm going. I won't wait. If there's even the slightest chance she's there, I'm going." Alden gently took her forearm. "Lyanna, it's too dangerous. We don't know if it's real or if it's a trap. You can't go alone." She looked at him with a fire Alden had never seen before. "Alden, if Kalor were alive and you had even one chance to save him, would you stay here?" The silence answered for him. Kyle stepped forward. "I'm going with her." Alden shook his head. "The two of you won't be enough, and you don't know the paths." Doran intervened, serious. "Our priority is Tharzul. We can't split up." Sira agreed. "We risk too much if we do." Dren raised a hand. "I can go with them. I know the route, the hidden trails, and the troubles along the way. And," he glanced at Lyanna with his half-smile, "I'd rather escort a lady than a pack of stubborn dwarves." Borin snorted. "I'm standing right here, scoundrel." Alden and Lyanna looked at each other for a long moment. The decision was made. The sun climbed between the mountains as the two groups gathered one last time. Lyanna adjusted her cloak. Ether perched atop a lamppost, watching. Kale checked his pack. Dren sharpened his knife with irritating calm. Alden exhaled. "I shouldn't let you go alone." "You're not letting us," Lyanna replied firmly. "Each of us walks our own path. You have a destiny." "I have to go after Selenia." Alden found no words and only worry. Cal broke the tension. "We'll be fine. Lyanna has Ether. I'm better than you," he smirked. "And, well, we've got this fellow too." Dren tilted his head. "I'm not sure whether to take that as a compliment." Sira watched the trio with her arms crossed. "I don't like this," she admitted, "but it's what must be done." Doran nodded. "Each follows what they must follow." Alden stepped toward Lyanna. "Take care. Only if you do the same." He tried to smile. She barely held his gaze. Dren sheathed his knife. "If we want to get there, we'd better start now. A long, unpleasant road awaits us." Lyanna pulled up her hood and looked at Alden one last time. "We'll come back. I'll find you afterward." She smiled, a small, sincere smile. "We'll meet again." Lyanna, Kale, and Dren set off toward the paths that vanished into the mountains. They did not look back. Alden watched until the mist swallowed them. Sira placed a hand on his shoulder. "Come, our gates are about to open." A tremor ran through the earth, first faint, then deep. The dwarves halted their work. Borin raised his staff. "There it is! They awaken!" Alden, Sira, and Doran stepped forward. Luthera's ears went rigid. The guardians began to move. Very slowly. as though waking from a sleep of centuries. The runes carved into their bodies ignited in deep blue, spreading like veins of light. The giants placed their hands upon the gates and pushed. The colossal slabs yielded with a thunderous groan, opening onto an ascending passage that wound through the mountains. It was a majestic path and an ominous one. Borin hurried the caravan. "Move! Through the gates before they close!" Alden advanced with the others. The air beyond the gates was cold, vibrating with ancient echoes. Borin walked beside him. "Bearer of the mark," he said solemnly, "may the ancient forces guide you. Tharzul will not be an easy place for you." Alden did not answer. His heart was divided. The relic awaited. Yet part of him was already moving toward the tower with Lyanna and Kale. Sarah seemed to read his thoughts. "They'll find the oracle," she said. "Lyanna knows how to take care of herself. So does Kale. And Dren. Well, Dren always finds a way." Alden allowed himself a faint smile. The Guardians closed the gates behind them with a final thunder. Alden cast one last glance westward, toward where the other group was advancing. Doran murmured, "When the time comes, the mark will lead you back to them." Alden nodded softly. The passage descended into blue-tinged darkness. The gates of Karad Dum were left behind. And so, beneath the same dawn, the group was divided for the first time. One path toward the heart of the Dwarven Kingdom, the other toward the Tower of Lumara, and a destiny yet unknown. But both led to the same thing, the Shadow awakening in Myranthel.